What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and I so enjoy hosting this show. And tonight is really fun because I've got some of my favorite human beings, very wise luminaries who are going to be with us, sharing on the topic that we've been exploring all weekend. So for those of you that have been participating in the Unity Earth One World Symposium, let us know that. Pop in the chat box what you've most enjoyed or what has stood out from you. And welcome everybody. And if you don't know, all weekend long, there's been a beautiful symposium going on, hosted by Ben Bowler, who will be here shortly, all about how we are awakening as humanity to our sacred mission, both on the macro level and in our own personal lives. And tonight, I really want to make this an opportunity for everyone to feel inspired to share what you are wanting to do, what either you already are doing in the world, or maybe what you're feeling inspired to create. And you're going to have a chance to hear from some really remarkable people tonight. And I'm really happy that right off the bat, to get us off to a beautiful start, is our beautiful beloved brother, Chief Phil Lane. Hello, Phil.
Good evening there, dear brother.
Good evening. Now, Phil, I know you've got this wonderful video. Do you want me to show that first, or do you want to set it up first?
No, we'll go ahead and give a little background run. Are we going to have a prayer first?
Yes, please.
Yes. Odin Kashla Wakantakov. Creator of the universe, most beloved one, all powerful one, most kind one, most compassionate one, ever forgiving one. O ancient of days, O blessed beauty, we call upon your holy power at this time to inspire our hearts and minds to peace upon this beloved Mother Earth for all life. In Kasha Wakantaka, we give thanksgiving and honor all the tribes and nations of the four directions. The east, from where comes the red sunrise, the south, from where comes new life, the west, where comes thunder, lightning, and rain, the north, from where comes the white snow, of course, Mother Sky and Mother Earth. And we just ask, Creator, you might truly unite our hearts and minds and inspire us all with a vision, first of all, of peace within ourselves and peace in our families and our communities and wherever we serve. We give thanksgiving for Brother Scott and all the help and support this wonderful gathering throughout the week, of which Saturday is just one. And may everybody here, everyone here, all your beloved ones, past, present, and future, be blessed through our supreme creator. Haulmi Chante Washtelo, Shungmano he meado chinupasapa meado hal michante washte. Aho. Here, let me just push a couple of buttons here. Okay. Okay, I've got that. Okay. Okay, I think we do that. Okay. Well, I'm really pleased that we're focusing not just here, but the symposium on our mission to manifest peace on earth. This has been a mission, a vision that not only is present in all the sacred prophecies across the Americas, even those pre-Columbian, like the igniting of the eighth fire, renewing the condor and eagle, but also in all faiths around the world. Of course, those of us who have been raised in primarily a Christian context know that the prayer we always say in whatever church it is, the Lord's Prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so in 1971, in Bolivia, March 21st, 1971, when the prophecy, the first stage of the prophecy was fulfilled of the reunion of the condor and eagle, which promised when the condor and eagle came together, it would lead to the coming together of the indigenous people across the Americas, which now number about 80 million. At the time of colonization began with our dear relative Christopher Columbus, there was over 100 million indigenous people living here in the Americas, which were reduced down to about 15 million. Probably the greatest Holocaust ever in human history, many from disease. But at the same time, we knew from our prophecies that this long spiritual wintertime was promised was a preparation for this very time we're living in. So I think we have to reframe the entire past 500 years, if not more, in fact, all of history. And if we believe, which we do as Indigenous people, that our Creator is a loving, kind, compassionate, just Creator, our Creator wouldn't punish us for doing the very best we could to follow the Creator's teachings, which we did. In fact, in the Americas, and compared to the rest of the world, we were very, very blessed by very little conflict compared to the rest of our relatives, the human family, we're going through. Since that time when we're all together beneath the sacred tree of life, way back when we were given the sacred instructions that we are now fulfilling. And so on March 21st, 2023, in Palenque, Chiapas, Mexico, the prophecy of the reunion of the condor and eagle was fulfilled with the establishment, literal establishment, and election of the council and the union of the condor, hummingbird, which was not included in the prophecy from the Amazon, the quetzal, which also would have eagles and condors flying Central America, and the eagle came together from March 17th to 22nd. And through sacred ceremonies and prayers and consultation, formed the union. This prophecy very clearly, as well as the prophecy of the eighth fire, was fulfilled in Hidalgo, Mexico on October 28th, 2023, also promised both these prophecies as others, but these specifically promised with the fulfillment of these prophecies that this would lead to the unification of our entire human family. We would awaken to the spiritual reality of one human family, and together we would manifest peace on earth. And I'm one of those that believe this can be accomplished by 2030. And so on during the second meeting of our union gathering, March 17th to the 23rd of March, 2024, we will initiate an Indigenous and our allies and Indigenous people, because we are one human family. But the Indigenous people across the Americas, really the 80 million people across the Indigenous Americas, we really have come to a spiritual unity between us. All these tribes and nations and languages share the same spiritual mycelium across the Americas. And many, many other members of our human family are awakening themselves to their spiritual reality as sovereignties, ancient and perishable, everlasting, and joining us in this Indigenous ally-led global peace movement, beginning here in the Americas. So important. We address the issues here in the Americas before we go out and tell other people how to live and conduct their lives. Right here in the Americas, we have to address this. And I'm talking about very clear issues. For instance, over $1 trillion has been spent on the war of drugs. $1 trillion. And there's more drug abuse than ever before because we're not getting to the root of it. The root of it is right here in North America and Europe, where we're consuming all these billions upon billions of dollars worth of drugs and dying. So if that $1 trillion was spent instead of addressing the core issues, the root causes, including the conditions of the relatives of the human family in the rest of the Americas, which now they're fighting at the border, instead of not addressing the issues that are happening in these countries in Latin America, across in the Caribbean, other places in the world, but right here in the Americas, we have to address the issues here. And so, if you would just share this video, I don't want to go on too long. If you'd share the video, Brother Scott, it'll give you an idea of what we're up to. Mitakiapi, my very, very beloved members of our human family, we'd like to warmly invite you to support the union of the condor, hummingbird, quetzal, and eagle as we meet for the second time March. So that's our mission. We invite everyone to join us. And I want to especially just give thanksgiving to Deborah Maldo and the great work she's doing. In fact, everybody here, Tammy, Gary, all of you, for what you're doing, because this is what this is all about. This is what this is about, my relatives. It's about us coming together, one heart and one mind in many bodies. And so, Brother Scott, that's about all I have to share. If you would share the GoFundMe link and so forth, the other ways that people can support this and participate, we want to invite everyone. And Mary, I haven't had the opportunity to really get a chance to meet. Is that Mary there?
That is Mary.
Up there, huh? Mary? Glad to see you, Mary. We're all on this eternal journey together. So whether in this world or the next world, we'll all get a chance to be together, because we know without question, our elders tell us, any love we've had for anybody in this physical world of time and space will not be forgotten the spiritual worlds to come, nor will we forget this world as well. We've got to have good memories.
Now, before, and I am going to show you GoFundMe in a moment, but I would love for you to tell people about this amazing photograph, which I use as my backdrop, even when I'm coaching clients. And would you just tell people a little bit about the magic of this? And I just want people to look at it. What do you see coming out of that fire? And I'll turn it back over to you, Phil.
Yes, well, the Anishinaabe, through my good uncle William Commanda, Eddie Minton, and others, shared this Anishinaabe prophecy that promised there would come a time when they talk about the seven fires, which gives kind of a whole history of 7 prophets that came in our indigenous peoples and prophesied each step of the way to where we're at today. And it said we would come to this place of the 7th fire, where we would come together as a human family and a decision would be made to either continue down the path of destruction and disunity and chaos, or to choose the path to light the eighth fire. The ignition of the eighth fire would also, as a fulfillment of the prophecy of rooting the condor and eagle, signify the time had come for our human family to step into our spiritual maturity. And that happened on the 28th of October in Hidalgo, Mexico, in an incredible ceremony. And that eighth fire was ignited. I want to thank my good Pushka Brock Pierce, who brought a whole, and also the twin rays were with us. My dear brother and sister twin rays, the beloved were there. Many others. Pato and Antoinette were there. Pato Banton. We had other relatives representing the Asian relatives. The entire representation of the human fire family was there as we ignited that fire. That fire ignited, and out of it came this almost a phoenix arising from the ashes. And that fire has now spread around the world. It was ignited at COP28 in the desert by Sheikh Abdul Aziz and 35 world leaders. It's being ignited in many different places. In fact, anyone who wants to have these ashes, because what's happened is sort of like leavening bread. From that initial fire, those ashes were taken, and they ignited more fires and more fires and more fires and more fires, clear now into Slovenia, into Sri Lanka. So that's what that's about.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. And I love this photograph. And I love how our whole community is coming together. Antoinette's in the Zoom room with us right now.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful community. And everybody, I really want to encourage people to support what Brother Phil is doing. I'm going to make a donation as soon as I turn it over to the next speaker. I've put the GoFundMe link into the chat box. For all of you watching on Facebook, and I recognize the majority of people watching right now are watching on the 150 channels and groups and pages that the Sign Network puts us out on. So I'm going to post this on my profile page. So if you're watching on Facebook, go to Scott Katamas. I'm easy to find. I'm the only Scott Katamas on the planet. Go to my profile page and you'll see this link. And of course, for everybody in the chat box, in our Zoom room, I put the link in there and I'll put it in one more time. Please do donate. Let's be generous. It's so important to support the great work that you're doing, Phil. And thank you for just being such a passionate inspiration for us all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And by the way, if you will share as well, we have literally a blueprint how to achieve this from an Indigenous perspective. In a book we've just released, The 7 Fires of Global Unity, Pathways to the 8th Fire and the Most Great Peace. And that's been shared, now being shared now in 27 languages around the world. We're now also translating into Arabic, into Farsi as well. So this is without cost, because we feel that this comes from the wisdom of our elders, but it talks about the 7 fires of global unity, which, by the way, when I heard the beautiful presentation by Pato and Antoinette, what they're calling upon, you know, which we already see is unfolding. Anyway, I won't go into in depth, but that's our gift. Please, we want to share that, as well as anybody, no matter, it doesn't make any difference what size contribution, everybody receives a copy of the Sacred Tree. And other kinds of things we want to share, because this is not about how much money you have. It's about participation. That's the most important thing. It's not how many people with a lot of money participate. It's how many human beings, whatever they can share. That's what's going to happen. This movement come to full fruition.
Thank you, Phil. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we did a pair of shows honoring Martin Luther King. And we made the commitment on the Awakening World that every show we're going to do something for the whole year connected to the vision of Martin Luther King.
Yes.
And so it's perfect that you're bringing this in. And along those lines, I do want to give you one more moment just to tell people about this event that you're doing with Pathways to Peace. And again, that famous quote from Dr. King, "Those who love peace must learn to organize as effectively as those who love war." And so there again is the ebook. I'm going to put this link into the chat box. And again, this is where people can get the book free of charge. And this is really kind of coming from you, Phil, in collaboration with our friends at Pathways to Peace, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, brother.
We love you, Phil.
As always. We're just, by the way, we haven't had breakfast yet. We haven't had breakfast yet. We're just getting started.
That's right. That's right. We got a lot of, all the way to peace by 2030.
Yes, okay.
Well, we are going to hear from Ben and Becky all about the symposium in a moment, but it's Saturday night. We got to have some music. And for those of you that are new to our show, we always combine amazing inspirational speakers like Chief Phil with music. And so I'm going to turn it over to our house musical artist, my beloved brother, Awashar. Hey, partner.
Namaste, everybody. And just while the symposium's still fresh in my mind, what I've been loving about it is that it's a microdose of every single amazing person. And so you never get satiated with one particular person. And I love that about it. And I'm really looking forward to being a part of tomorrow afternoon's show, let's say, Symposium Expose. And so here's a song to get us moving and grooving, and a little bit of a backdrop here. Yes. Contemplating everything I knew, seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to. Contemplating what is pure and true, sun and moon and stars and light and earth and water too. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Glad to know we're coming home again. Open hearts and open minds and open doors and loving friends. Look at the one who's standing by you now. Destiny is in our hands, so leave the density behind. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Turning to the face of those who need the light of truth to help them turn the other cheek and turn around. Lift each other up into the highest point of view, so that together we can move to higher ground. Contemplating everything I knew, seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to. contemplating what is pure and true. Sun and moon and stars and light and earth and water too. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Turning to the face of those who need the light of truth to help them turn the other cheek and turn around. Lift each other up into the highest point of view so that together we can move to higher ground. Contemplating everything I knew. Seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to.
Woo! Wow. Let's go to gallery view for a moment and give everybody a big twinkle to Beloved Omashar.
And many, many twinkles to the dancers. That was phenomenal, Scott. Thank you.
You know, it's really, really fun, you know, having everybody moving and grooving to the music. And I apologize for the times that I happen to go to the camera and you're just taking a drink of water or, blowing your
that was
nose.
today what was quite fun because everyone's just themselves, right? It's a natural
Exactly.
gathering.
Well, I try and include as many people as I possibly can. It's and thank you to those of you who started this, start with Omashar playing music, and then I think our very first people were Adora dancing, and of course, Eleanor Joy dancing. And now it's become like this wonderful, wonderful part of the Global Peace Tribe shows. So thank you. So this amazing symposium has been going on, and the man behind it all, and of course he has an incredible team, and I know that he's going to give credit to his team, but it's really my honor to bring up Ben Bowler when I can find him here. Where are you, Ben? I'm going to go back to gallery view so I can find you. I know he's there.
I'm right here, right here.
Where are you? We've got so many people with their cameras on, which is awesome. There he is. Okay, gotcha. You're hiding in the corner.
Yes, I often do that.
I'm going to also bring up one of his amazing partners, who we just saw as a great dancer as well, the great Reverend Becky Suzik. And first of all, thank you for being on, because you have been up for God knows how long, because everything started about 12 hours ago. But I would love for both of you to kind of share a little bit about the symposium, some highlights, and then, of course, we want to promote for tomorrow.
Becky, oh my goodness, Becky.
You can nod it. It's actually been going for 36 hours. How many hours have we been up nearly? It feels like it's amazing. So we just finished our fourth session and strategically timing them so that it would honor the whole world, be able to join us for at least one session a day. And we know there are many people who are joining us for both sessions. And it's such an honor and a privilege. And even though there's so much in my heart, I can't find the words. I mean, it's really astonishing the way we are using this media, the way Scott does similarly, to create an experience in Zoom that is really, we've transcended the old story media. We are the new media, and we get to do this. And thanks to Ben and your ideas and what you've collaborated with so many of our friends and other organizations, it's still, we're in the middle of it. So it's incredible. Thank you, Ben. It's so much fun to dance with you, eating your lunch or your dinner or whatever. We're both like, we have to do that, refuel.
In fact, that was a delicious coconut-based veggie curry, Becky. You would have loved it. So
Ooh.
shout out to my beloved Nina, who's taking care of me through this whole process and made a very delicious home-cooked curry. So yeah, it takes everybody, doesn't it, to do what we're called to do. And I think that's probably the story of the symposium, is that every bit every contribution, there's no great or small, it's all in. And, the musicians, the speakers, the facilitators, what you do at the Zoom, Becky, you're the world class, you're the Michael Jordan of Zoom teching. And to be able to do that, but everybody doing their thing just creates something not only spectacular from the outside, but something that you just feel. And I think origins are important. So, let's go back to late last year when Deborah Mulder, who's here, and Kurt Johnson first, floated the idea of honoring Irvin Laszlo's call for what was probably going to be more in Irvin's mind. And Tammy will probably be able to speak into this as well, but was probably going to be more of like an academic symposium with papers and long presentations. And, Irvin would have, as a brilliant genius mind that he is, would have had a certain idea of what it was going to be. And then Deborah and Kurt, maybe Diane, thought, well, let's see what's wanting to emerge here, and brought me and us into the conversation. And Unity Earth for the last 2 years has been doing symposiums in February. In fact, normally we do them aligned with World Interfaith Harmony Week, which has been an orientating principle for a lot of our events in the Holy Land. In Ethiopia has been during World Interfaith Harmony Week, which is that February 1 to 7 week. I think it's about its 13th year. So we've been doing the symposiums just for 2 years. And what's really interesting, Scott, thanks to you and all of the amazing partners in World Unity Week and the 99 Days of Peace Through Unity, you guys are the Global Peace Tribe, are such wonderful, collaborators and partners. But the symposium in February has kind of set the scene for the rest of the year. So if we go back to 2022, the symposium was themed Coming Home Together. And that's really what drove the theme for everything into World Unity Week and the 99 days. That year, the whole year was coming home together. And then last year, our symposium was devoted to the theme of visions for a new earth. And then that, through the amazing Kristen Hoffman and her genius, and a soul om she did, became New Earth Rising, which became the theme for World Unity Week, 99 Days and Peace Week last year. So the symposium kind of sets the scene in some ways for us across the calendar year. And so when Deborah and Kurt, suggested this idea of Unity Earth or getting involved, we thought, what about if we didn't make the Unity Earth Symposium this year, but did it as a radical collaboration, which, everybody leaning in. And boy, it's been, I'm not saying it hasn't been without its challenges, but it has been an extraordinary leaning in from the Source of Synergy Foundation, Good of the Whole, One World, Light on Light, the Connection Field, UniFi. I mean, this is Hubcast. Scott, what you're doing, literally everyone's contributing to this being that is this symposium. And there's something in Irvin's genius about the theme, because there's something about that theme that resonates so potently, which is awakening to humanity's sacred mission. And so people have spoken into that about our personal callings, about our group callings and initiations, and then about the broader. I mean, there's no shortage of things that need to be done, and that spirit is active and everyone's heart calling us to do and be about the great work. So this awakening to humanity's sacred mission has really resonated so powerfully with all of those partner organizations. And I apologize, invariably, I've left people out. But when you look at all of the presenters, we have 50 plus speakers across these 3 days. And then there's the harvest, John Raymer, Sign Network. I did mention One World, but the partnership here is what can we all do together, It's really special. And everyone owns their bit. The Holo movement, Tammy did a beautiful panel today as part of the presentation that happened a few hours ago with Paulette Pipe and Rachel Morrison about the Holo movement, which is another emerging beautiful field. The World Upshift Forum. We had Jarvis Smith and Lauren Lamore talking about that. The evolutionary leaders. Oh my goodness, Deborah Mulder. That roundtable today was exquisite, and it's beyond partnership. It's co-creation, but at the deepest level. It's probably what Barbara Marx Hubbard had in mind when she really, she became the priestess of co-creation. It's about doing it together, leaning in, and ownership. And I'll be honest, let's get real. Some of that is about money. We just saw a beautiful support of Chief Phil's work, and we need to do more of that. We need to show up financially for each other as well. So great to see the support for Phil's amazing global, beautifully led, Indigenous led peace movement. But Source of Synergy Foundation put money in. Sign Network put money in. Light on Light put money in. Connection Field put money in. Good of the Whole put money in. Purpose Earth is sponsoring the whole thing. So, wow. there's no limit to what we can achieve together when we lean into it like that. It's I'm really uplifted and proud and excited and delighted by what we're learning. I know John Raymer's on fire for what we're learning from the feedback forms and from the real-time feedback. But I think at the heart of it, Deborah, it'd be great to hear your thoughts. This is the power of us in made visible and made real. And as Chief Phil just said, we haven't even had breakfast yet. Well, but I think there's something in that, and just this expression, Scott, of the co-creation. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, Deborah Moldau.
Yeah, let's just, for people who don't know, this is Deborah Moldau. She's co-hosted this show many times. She is the person who makes Evolutionary Leaders Network happen, Source of Synergy Foundation happen. And I would love, Rev Deb, as I love to call her, for you to kind of share your thoughts about the symposium.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be back on The Awakening World. It feels like home to me, dancing to Omishar's music and being with the Global Peace Tribe. And hats off to you, Scott, because you do this every week, twice a week and more.
Yeah.
And still you show up. You showed up for the symposium. You show up for all of our evolutionary leaders meetings, and you're really an extraordinary human being. Hats off to you.
Thank you.
And hats off to my brother, Ben Bowler. Oh my God, what you have, I don't even know what to call what you've done for this symposium, Ben. You're the master weaver. And I know that when Ervin Laszlo approached us with an idea to do something collectively, and you stepped up and said, well, Unity Earth can produce this. You took on a huge job. And I don't think this was quite like the symposia that you've produced in the past. For one thing, you had all of these partners. So I was trying to think about why this symposium is so special. And it is so special. And please, Ben, put links in the chat where anybody who's on this call who hasn't seen any of the symposium can tune into the different sessions. And believe me, it's a lot to take in, but it's so worth it. And I was thinking, okay, Deborah, maybe you can express 2 or 3 of the things that were so special about it. No, I've got 5.
Great.
So the first one is the theme. And this came from Ervin Laszlo. He is an extraordinary pioneer of the new consciousness. And he was really heart set on these words of humanity's sacred mission. He could have called it Upshift, which is the name of his program. But no, he really wanted to emphasize that this is sacred, what we're doing together. So I think people rallied to that theme because they felt a heart connection to it. So that was point number 1. Okay, point number 2. Just imagine trying to produce a 3-day event, and then there's going to be another session next week as well to kind of bring together all of the wisdom and everybody's participation. But all of that to put together with a whole raft of partnering organizations. This is not business as usual. This is not normal. Normally, it would be simply Unity Earth Symposium, and the rest of us would come on as co-sponsors. But no, this time we were all partners. And it's true that Unity Earth took on the lion's share of the work, but always honoring all of the partners who were part of it. And this is a new spirit of collaboration at a whole different scale than we are used to. we're used to putting our names on events, but no, this event showcased all of the organizations that were partnering, who contributed speakers and were, were mentioned and honored all through the process. So that brings me to point number 3, which is the brilliant speakers from all of these partnering organizations. Oh my goodness, you just cannot imagine if you weren't there. And if you were there, please put in the chat like some of the highlights for you. The range of speakers addressing the vision, first of all, of humanity's sacred mission, and then the implementation of that mission. And then today we were synergizing. And what does it take to really come together to make these dreams come true? One after another of the most incredible speakers that you will ever hear. And I was thinking about what it would have taken to get everybody into a room. I used to be at the United Nations representing May Peace Prevail on Earth. And people would come from all over the world and sit in a room to listen to one another. We don't have to do that anymore. We can do it on Zoom. We were there from 86 countries. And that's my point number 4, which is the gathering of the tribe, just like Awakening World does week after week. But this was on a grand scale. 86 countries had participants in the Zoom room, just extraordinary. And we got to meet each other in the Zoom breakouts as well, which is always a joy. So my final point is innovation. So there was this amazing commitment to engaging the participants. And that was spearheaded largely by John Raymer, who's another one of our evolutionary leaders. And we had this Menti technology that produced beautiful word clouds of everybody's inspiring reactions. And then it collated ideas that everybody was submitting in real time. And then there was the book giveaway quizzes, which were so much fun. It made a game out of giving away some of our wonderful books, like the one on the Holo movement, and we're going to be doing one tomorrow for our moment of choice, which I know you've heard me talk about. So there was never a dull moment. It's really what I want to say. It's been a joyful experience to be part of, and I'm inspired that even though we are still a minority on this planet, we are the ones at the edge of the evolution who are hearing this call. But everybody came together in such a beautiful way, and they were using the chat, just like we do here on this program, to participate fully and be fully present. And everybody was sharing this dream of awakening to humanity's sacred mission. And it's been a beautiful and powerful experience. And I believe that even the small community that is awakening to all of this is making a difference, is a microcosm of something that's waking up all over the planet. And everybody in the Global Peace Tribe is part of making that happen. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to go back to Ben and Becky in a moment. But before I do that, I just want to direct people to the Source of Synergy Foundation. And, we've highlighted this book a few times, but Our Moment of Choice is such a powerful book. It's got 43 of the evolutionary leaders, each providing an essay, a wisdom jewel, if you will. People like Reverend Michael Beckwith, and so many of the wonderful people, many of whom you've seen on the show. And so go to sourceofsynergyfoundation.org, sourceofsynergyfoundation.org. If you haven't gotten the book yet, please get it. And then connect with us, join. It's so important for us to all continue to come together. And Rev Deb, I love you so much. Absolutely love you.
I'd also like to encourage people to go to evolutionaryleaders.net and sign the call to conscious evolution. When you sign the call, not only do you get our monthly newsletter, but you get to post what you're doing. And what I know that everybody on this call is making a difference.
And there it is. It's evolutionaryleaders.net. There again is our moment of choice. And then you just scroll down a little bit and you click here. And that's where you can answer the call, like 49,202 other people already have. Pop in your email address so that you can keep track of all the wonderful things that are taking place.
If you scroll down a little, Scott, you'll see how people, after the book, how people who sign on get to contribute what they're doing. So we love to hear from you.
Absolutely. So there it is, evolutionaryleaders.net. Answer the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rev Deb, for answering the call and with us tonight and sharing your 5 highlights. Thank you so much. I'm going to bring Ben and Becky up one more time, and I'd love for you guys to maybe share a little bit about what's happening tomorrow. I have pulled it up for you to describe. So here we go. This is what we've got happening tomorrow.
Yes, session 5, embody and engage. All of the presentations are amazing. That's going to be another one. Jude Caravan, Chief Dwayne Perry, Salman Chisti, Azza Karam. Azza Karam has got an extraordinary. In fact, I'm really excited about this because we haven't had Azza present hit in our community before. Deborah, you know Azza for many years, but she was the Secretary General of Religions for Peace. Major global peace organization, and she'll be speaking and presenting, and of course the amazing Tatiana Speed, and Tatiana is going to be doing embodied somatic journeys and experience. I can't wait. I'm really excited about that. Professor Peter Blaise Corcoran has an issue with his home that he's dealing with, but we have Sadhviji Saraswati who's going to be joining the session tomorrow, which will be amazing. And then bringing it home on a little bit earlier than today's session. So it's 4 p.m. Eastern, pre-game entertainment. What better than to come together and bringing it home at the Awakening to Humanity's Sacred Mission Symposium with Kristen, who's going to kick it off. John Cobb, he's 99 yesterday. Marty K. Casey, beloved of all of our communities, including the Global Peace Tribe. Adam Apollo, Jonathan Granoff. I mean, wow. And then have we saved the best for last? Because the final act of the final day of the final session is none other than Omar Shah. So, wow, bringing it home. No pressure. No, it's going to be awesome and super exciting. And each of those, I should mention, both of those have got dedicated teams doing engagement sessions. Extraordinary team doing session 5, a big team, including Alexander Laszlo, Diane Williams, Julie Krult, Hezekiah Gabriel, Yanni Maniatis, and Pavel, whose last name is not on top of my tongue. And then in session 6, it's going to be facilitated by the Connection Field, which is great. And just one more thing, it's amazing, Scott and Becky, to see these movements, these impact groups coming together. One World, which is so strong and growing. It's amazing to see the growth of One World. And maybe Becky can talk about that and the way that we can find each other. What we learned today, and I just got probably another minute and a half to share, Scott. What we learned today is we're ready now to meet the masses, right? Maybe not all at once, but gradually, and bring them and connect in ways that are sustainable and valuable. I want to acknowledge again UniFi, because with Tammy's and the team, Michael Kraus and everybody, but just the leaning in is essential. And with this project, we had a budget. We created Facebook ads. We tried them through some of the other platforms. We weren't getting great traction. So I then put them on UniFi. I said to Tammy, can I use UniFi's Facebook page to advertise the symposium? Tammy, Michael said yes. So we used the budget. We went out on UniFi. We started to get results. We've had over 2,500 people register, 1,500 Zoom registrations. And as Deborah said, 86 countries represented. So, a good half of the people that are there, in every session, we've had 200, 250 people. Half of them are new people for us. So there's a great opportunity for them to connect with the Hollow Movement, with One World, with the Connection Field, with the Global Peace Tribe. So exciting that we're ready to really become an attractor and a magnetizer and on board in productive ways. When we cross that threshold, there's a threshold there that when we get there, and it's like we're there, then it's a total game changer. And these tools are important. What John's done with using the tools and the technology of AI and the other things. Mentimeter actually came originally through Hubcast, but wherever these tools come from, we're using them, and you're using them to support and grow and engage, and it's so exciting. So yeah, all of that is just to say that we're at a tipping point now, and this weekend, this Lunar New Year, this entering the dragon, you can feel it. So thank you, Tammy, for just your leadership and leaning in, and Becky and Scott. It's all of us coming to find a way together, and it gives us we're learning so much that we can apply again and again and again. So thank you. Maybe go ahead, Scott.
Meeting and growing and expanding by meeting, I've met so many people through you. Honestly, in watching the symposium last couple of days, I've made notes on several people that haven't been on this show yet that I want to reach out to and have be on the show. And one of the most wonderful people that I met through you, Ben Bowler, is Tatiana Speed. You are the person who brought me together with this wonderful woman, and she is with us tonight, and she is going to bless us with not one, but two musical numbers. And also we're going to learn a little bit about some of the wonderful things she's doing. Tatiana, what do you have to say about the symposium, about this group of people, about humanity's sacred mission, and how you're showing up to it?
Well, first of all, it's so wonderful to be here. I love coming on your show, Scott, and I'm starting to recognize all these faces, and they're so dear. It's so sweet to see you all. And yeah, I'm truly honored to be invited to present on this symposium, which is just full of the most legendary, incredible thought leaders, visionaries of our time. And I'm so inspired by all of you. And the piece that I have to bring is the medicine that's really pouring through me right now is bringing my music together with the somatic therapy that I do, and really creating spaces of safety for people to land in their bodies, to digest and be with and alchemize all that's hard to feel and be with, and have the experience of really coming into coherence, coming into felt contact with ourselves. And for me, that's really an offering of peace to the world, because we're offering this frequency, this other way of being, of how we can be in our bodies, how we can feel safe on this earth. And this has been a real journey for me to get here. I'm not sure how much to share about that, but I've definitely struggled with a lot of anxiety and a lot of not feeling safe here. So this is really the medicine I've cultivated for myself. And now it's so beautiful to be weaving this together and offering it to others. And I'm working on an album right now called Lullabies for Adults, which is this journey of guided somatic meditations and really calming, soothing, heart-opening songs. And it's really just bringing people into this loving embrace to just create this feeling of rest, of being able to just drop in and really be with ourselves as we are. And yeah, it's a really healing experience, and I feel like our world does need a lot of healing. So yeah, maybe what I'll do, Scott, is just kind of guide a little bit of a meditation and go into the song. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to invite you all to just close your eyes and just let yourself start to land in your body. And just notice what's there right now. What's here right now? as you attune to yourself, as you connect. It's really easy with how fast this world is going now and how busy we are, often with things that we're really passionate about, but to really slow down and pause and be with what we feel. So I'm just inviting you to give your body the permission to just start to soften. You can let your face soften and rest. Let your shoulders soften and relax. And just kind of give yourself over to the feeling of gravity. Gravity pulling you down to the earth. And often we will resist this pull of gravity, but in this moment, just let that weight pull you down. Let that weight pull you down so that you feel this connection to the earth, pulling you down towards our mother. And just give it over to her. Let her hold you. Whatever you're carrying in this moment, just letting her hold it. And know that love itself is holding you. Just keep letting yourself drop and land. Let that weight of gravity pull you down and in. And on your exhales, you can just, whatever's arising, just keep giving it over. It gets recycled and metabolized in the earth so that new beauty can be born within us. So you don't have to hold on to anything. And we're doing this for the whole world when we do this. Hush now, come and rest. I'll sing you a lullaby. Hush now, you've done your best. Let the world go by. You can let go of all you carry. I know how much you worry. For this moment, just fall into the love that's holding you. Hush now, let it down. There's no need to be afraid. Hush now, let it go. You are safe. You can let yourself rest a while. Slow down for your inner child. For this moment, just fall into the love that's holding you. love surrounds you now. Only love surrounds you now. Only love surrounds you now. Ooh. Only love surrounds you now.
Mhm. Oh, beautiful.
Mm.
I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment. People, turn on your cameras and let's twinkle. You know, I had such a beautiful experience with Tatiana. A while back, she did a special event, um, which was playing songs from this new album of hers, Lullabies for Adults. And it was so relaxing. And originally, she was not going to make it available. I said, please make it available. And I used it over and over to go to sleep. As you've all experienced right now, her voice is so meditative and so relaxing, and her music just takes us into such a beautiful place. And I'm really excited that you're moving forward with this beautiful project. And tell us about the Kickstarter campaign and a little bit more about the album.
Sure. Yeah, so this album, I mean, because I've been offering these concerts both online and in person, and people kept begging me for the recording, and I was like, I want to make an album. I really, really want to turn this experience into an album. And so that's what I'm aiming to do right now. So I've launched this Kickstarter because I just don't have the funding to really turn this beautiful experience into something I can offer to others. And so this Kickstarter is there to really raise funds so I can create this and offer this to people. And I know it's something that's like a service. Like the people that have come, I've gotten really amazing feedback saying how much it's supported them with their mental health, with their healing, with just feeling safe in moments of anxiety. So it's really something I feel really called to do and give right now. So yeah, if any of you feel called to contribute to the Kickstarter or help me spread it around, I would appreciate that so deeply.
So here's how it works, everybody. You go to her Kickstarter campaign. I just put the link into the chat box. I'll also post it on my Facebook page. And you can learn more. You can watch this beautiful video that she's got up there. But here's how we back the project. You click back the project, and then you can pledge at different levels. So if you pledge $20 Canadian, you get an immediate digital download of the album. If you do a higher pledge, you get a signed thank you card and certainly much appreciation from Tatiana. And what's the Oasis Women's Circle 2-month pass? What is that?
Yeah, so I have different, so there's different rewards for each level of contribution. And so one of them is to my Oasis Women's Circles, which is a monthly women's circle where we gather to do embodiment practices and have different tools, different somatic meditations. And it's a really, really beautiful community of women. So that's one tier. Another is a somatic healing session. I just recently graduated as a somatic therapist, so I'm offering somatic therapy sessions as well as one of the rewards. There's tickets to the next Lullabies concerts, the next 3. There's, for a bigger ticket, there's your own personal concert for your friends and family. I'll write a lullaby for you. There's your own personalized lullaby. You can send me what you need. I will turn it into a song. So there's different offerings for each of the tiers.
Imagine your own Tatiana lullaby.
I will absolutely do that, and I would delight in doing that. Yes.
Tatiana, I want to read just a few of the comments coming in from our audience.
Sure.
Ayana writes, I've taken a couple of the live events that Tatiana has done with the somatics and her healing music. So powerful, deeply nourishing, grounding, and healing. Christy Michaels makes a wonderful point. She says, safety is a high calling. America just doesn't feel safe.
Mm.
Pam writes, Tatiana, you truly are an earth angel, right?
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing your beautiful gifts and helping to heal the world with your music. Antoinette, our beloved Antoinette, is acknowledging you. Dia Therese writes, purity, innocence, sweetness, comfort, safety.
Mm.
Mm. And Baldwin writes, thank you, Tatiana, for your beautiful, soothing voice. Even adults need lullabies.
Yes, we do. That's exactly
Right. So again, Janet's wanting to know how to get the album. So again, go to the Kickstarter campaign page and decide what level you want to pledge at. There's so many different ways to do it. And boy, she really does have a lot of wonderful options here.
Yeah, I made a lot. I had a lot of fun with that actually. I was like, maybe
Boy, I
this is
tell
too
ya.
much, but oh well.
Never too much time.
People will figure it out. I hope.
Never too much. And she's going to play another song for us in a little while, so she'll be back.
Hey, Scott, can I say something about this?
Of course, Gary.
I didn't want you to miss. I was inspired to share my testimonial in the chat, and I wanted to read it if I could. I said, Tatiana is on to what I believe is the most important role that music can serve today, slowing us down and soothing the frazzled inner children that lives in all humans today. So I just want to give you a huge thumbs up. I'm going to do whatever I can to spread the word because you are the perfect medicine for our inner children. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. That means so much coming from you. Thank you.
Right, I mean, coming from Gary Malcolm.
Wow. I take that in deep, Gary. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
And everybody, as you can see, we're going to have Gary with us tonight. He's going to be with us shortly. But before we go to Gary, Tammy Scarlett is with us tonight. And Tammy is one of those people who behind the scenes does all sorts of wonderful things in our great global peace tribe, Unity Earth. She works very closely with UniFi. And of course, UniFi has been the source where we've gone for so much of our inspiration for so many years, really before all of us were doing Zoom. UniFi was out there doing the great work. And so it's wonderful to have you with us, Tammy, a chance to meet you. And you were on way back during the Saturday Night Alive days. But it's great to have you back on a Global Peace Tribe show. And I guess I'd just love to start by asking what all of this means to you, answering the call to humanity's sacred mission and your own personal response to that.
Yeah, that's a great question, Scott. And first, I guess I'll just say, yeah, so I've been executive director of UniFi for almost 6 years now, and UniFi began the winter solstice of 2012 by putting together a gigantic global broadcast that knit together all of the ceremonies that were happening at sacred sites around the planet. And in so doing, there was this moment where people who were maybe participating from home, or maybe they were at one of those sites, but whatever the case, they did not have the context of how great in number we really are together, and that all of these movements were happening as part of one whole in these moments. And so it gave people a new context that they could relate to, that's already true inside. And I was not yet with UniFi when that happened, because like I said, just going on 6 years here for me. But it's been really a great honor to lead this nonprofit organization through its becoming. And part of that becoming has been looking at ways where in moments we just sprung up and sprinted through and maybe didn't take a lot of time to think about what we wanted to plan in our actions. A lot of times it was like rallying up together and popping up a quick event and getting a lot of energy around it, and then dealing with the aftermath later. These are things that a lot of us do in our lives as individuals sometimes, and then come back and through maybe mindfulness practices, think about how we can tune up our approaches. So as an entity, UniFi has been growing up over these years. And many of you who know UniFi might have noticed that we have not been running out like teenagers lately, cheering for things, but we've been really learning new ways of being through how to support the greater ecosystem of the community. And in my opinion, I think that that's just in time, because I think that UniFi as an entity longs to be in service to this evolution of the whole. I think that UniFi is one aspect of looking at all of us as the whole. So I am UniFi, you are UniFi, we all are UniFi, the same way that I am the Holo movement, you are the Holo movement, we all are Holo movement. We've come up with names and titles and things to call it, but we are one. And that's the thing that's trying to come through in this iteration of being. So when you ask me, Scott, about the Awakening to Humanity's Sacred Mission Symposium that's happening this week, I think that the timing of that also could not be any better. And I think that, post-pandemic, we find ourselves as humanity, not just in a consciousness space, but truly as all of humanity, on the other side of a shared experience that makes us feel like we can't go backwards. We know that we're co-creating something new, that's inevitable. So then it becomes more present in our minds that there's perhaps an opportunity, perhaps an option to become more intentional in that co-creation, to think about who we want to be, what we want to knit in our future. For me, what that's been bringing up lately is that when I go into meetings about new systems, new technology, how we're leveraging AI, all these different things, I work deeply in partnerships for global strategy through UniFi and also not through UniFi. So in those meetings, I like to ask myself, how can we from right here invite in a higher level of intelligence, our natural intelligence, collective intelligence, exponential intelligence, any kind of intelligence that's for the best and highest good that may not already be operating at its fullest potential? How can we invite that in right now? And in perhaps even the most subtle ways, weave in to the next practical step that we're doing, whether it's a symposium or a meeting or setting up a system or whatever, the values and the ethos that we are saying we long for in our future. So if I am going to say, for instance, that I long for inclusivity, I really want people's voices to be heard. I really want people to know that they're not alone. What is one little way that I can weave that value or that ethos into something practical that I'm doing, and then I wait on it and allow for some intelligences to come through that might show me a way to do that, so that no matter what I'm doing, I can be weaving something new. For me, that's my own personal growing edge at the moment, because I don't have a manual on how to do new earth stuff. I mean, we have lots of all kinds of signs and symbols, but we don't really have the complete thing, and it's different for every single one of us. So for me, that's my current practice of my growing edge, is just saying, well, if I know if I've activated myself and I've chosen to be fully present and really released self-judgment, surrendered to flow, and I can invite in higher intelligence and then look for just one little thing I can do different as I co-create, then I can move in a direction that I know is on a trajectory of what we are all saying we're hoping that the future will be. And that's what I think is we're starting to see light up in the symposium.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for the wonderful work that you're doing, Tammy. And it's just really nice to have you on the show. And in case people don't know, I imagine most of our tribe knows about UniFi. But if not, it's on Facebook is the best place to start. And just go to UniFi. And they carry so many things. Of course, they've been carrying much of the symposium that we've been talking about all night long. And this really is a beautiful place to go There's so many amazing things that you carry, and also just always great little memos. You guys always have great little memes that people post. I post memes up there sometimes. So UniFi is such an incredible and an important hub. And it's exciting to hear what you guys are working on, because you have always been ahead of the curve. And so I look forward to seeing what you come up with and what you guys are going to do next.
Well, thank you, Scott. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I think it's really key for everything on the planet right now, for humanity to be finding new ways to have a masculine and feminine balance in the ways that we alchemize together our relationships, our businesses, our business transactions, our agreements, our meetings, all of these things. There are new ways that are possible. And some of this wisdom that we celebrate with our esteemed Indigenous elders, and that we know is out there from perhaps ancient texts, some of that wisdom cannot come through practically and be able to like be living in our society unless we begin to incorporate it in some of these ways. So from UniFi, you might experience a little more of these feminine edges about how to be in service, about how to be present, about how to communicate that we are all one. It is not us versus you. It is not UniFi and then all these other organizations. It is we are a network of networks, a collective, an ecosystem, and UniFi has our role to play. And also I think entities have kind of an essence, to them, a life and a becoming. And so UniFi's at this age where she's discovering herself in a new way. So that's it's a really beautiful thing. So I think that and that's true for a lot of us right now. Again, at this stage of evolution for humanity, a lot of our organizations are discovering that it's possible for us to become something new, to have these moments of exponential growth, and just by way of our being together in new ways and leaning into that co-creativity. So.
I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and I was in the entertainment industry for the first 40 years of my life. And it's obviously a very competitive field. And I was raised, and I was a competitive guy. And one of the great things that really took place that I observed in the pandemic was how all the different organizations that we're seeing represented came together, and there was not competition. Evolutionary Leaders Network, UniFi, Unity Earth, Source of Synergy Foundation, Soul Search, Global Peace Tribe, and the way that we all support each other and exchange resources and ideas and financially support each other. It's been really beautiful for me as a guy coming out of a very competitive world to witness this way that we are coming together and supporting each other. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Scott. I think it's really way paving in that sense, because I think it's something that other people are creating, even out in the business sector. These past, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, I did a speaker series and was speaking to people in the healthcare industry. And one of the things that they desired to learn the most was how to successfully collaborate with one another. And so being able to utilize these principles that honestly I had seen enacted in this, greater consciousness space, and watching them be successfully applied in the business world was also really exciting. And I think more and more people are really, again, after a shared experience, like extreme isolation, we crave being with one another. We crave something even deeper than that we maybe don't know how to put our finger on, but there's something that happens when we know one another, we lean in with one another, agendas aside, that allows for something to be born. Those golden threads can rise up to the surface. We can identify them quickly. We know where momentum is, and it makes it so much more easy to know I know when to reach out and call Scott because I know it's in his wheelhouse. I know all these like dimensions, right? And so when we're in these spaces, we get to know that about one another, and it just makes it magical.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And, you know, I'm looking in the audience. There's all these wonderful people in the audience. We've got Antoinette in the audience, Kristen Hoffman in the audience. And what's beautiful about that is even when they're not presenters on the show, they still come in and they attend the Unity or Symposium or a UniFi event or the Awakening World. And I think that's a very beautiful thing as well.
I do too. I do too. The other thing that makes me think of, Scott, with the Awakening to Humanity's Sacred Mission Symposium is that I really feel at the heart of it that this is about your innate value as a being on this experience being a human on Earth. You being here, every single person on the planet, all 8 billion people on the planet have a real true purpose, and that can be activated, and that is like a puzzle piece to everything else going on around you, and especially even on a greater context, all the way up to the most macro. And I like to say, because people will say to me sometimes, let's go change the world or things like that. And I'll say, well, we already are changing the world. That part's inevitable. We are changing the world constantly, whether we like it or not. But the question is, what do we really want to do with that power? What do we really want to do with that possibility? Because it's a window of time that we have, and it's opportunity. We get the chance to be fully present and fully alive and fully abundant and make that possible for others around us. We get the chance, the opportunity to co-create new realities together. So how can we show up right now and make that a new way, a new thing?
Beautiful. And, you know, it's said all the time for a reason. We need to be the change we want to see in the world. And that is what's so inspiring for me about collaborating with you and all the wonderful people that are here tonight and that are with us every week, is that it can get very discouraging. You know, I'll step back a step. In one of the breakout rooms in today's symposium, 2 of the people, instead of talking about what they, you know, are doing in the world, said, I'm just so glad to be here. I am so discouraged watching what's happening in the Middle East, watching what's happening in Ukraine. And 2 different people were just sharing the great disillusionment and how hard it has felt. And so to come into this environment and to see person after person after person who's doing something, making a difference, and that we are all co-creating at least peace in our community, at least peace in our world, was so inspiring for those 2 people. And it was a reminder for me of how blessed we are, because we really don't have much impact over what Putin or the political leaders are going to do, but we have tremendous impact in how we relate to our family, how we relate to our neighborhood, how we relate to our workmates, our immediate sphere of influence. We are impacting every day. And to keep remembering that and bringing love and harmony and resonance and coherence into our relationships. And I think that's a big part of what we're all learning and grasping at this time.
Absolutely, Scott. And I think also maybe letting it soak in, even if we can't, we're not going to be able to measure all the time the ways that our actions and our thoughts, right where we are, reverberate out beyond our sphere. But they do reverberate out beyond our sphere. And people will say also to me sometimes, but I don't know how I really make a difference. I can't see how that's really true. I think I kind of believe it, but I can't really see it. And so I'll say, look, there's 8 people in the world. 8 people. There's 8 people. There's 8 billion people in the world. Let's say that there's a giant 5-gallon bucket filled with water. And let's say you take one little dropper of red dye and you put that in the water. You know, you have a drop of red dye that goes into that bucket. There is no part of the water in that bucket that is the same color as it was before. Even if it is the tiniest fraction different, it is different. It has changed because that one little drop went in that bucket. We don't have to be able to see or understand how this all reverberates and fits together, but the thoughts you think when you are alone, you think you're siloed off from everything else, they are connected. Your permissions that you give yourself are permissions that you are paving the way for other people. That is how it works. It is all connected. So your sphere might be what you're immediately affecting from right where you are in ways that you can measure, but also keep in mind there are ways that we're not required to measure that are also being affected by everything that you are and everything that you do. And that means that you have great, vast potential to combine with other people around the planet at these junctures right now. Imagine what a different world can be 6 months later, 12 months later, when all these people right where they're at start thinking differently, feeling differently, making different choices, being differently out in the world, inviting new ways of being so that they can embody new ways for the new earth. And then that begins to change things little by little. And then all of a sudden, we are at any point in time only the culmination of what everybody in humanity is deciding together. That's the algorithm.
Right. That was beautifully stated. That was really beautifully stated. Tammy, I'm not going to let you go another 2 years without being on the show again. That will happen more often.
Oh,
I'm
thank you, Scott.
so appreciating everything you've shared. And guess what time it is? It's time for another Omoshar song.
Nice. Awesome.
An opportunity for us to digest the wonderful wisdom you've just shared with us. So thank you so much. And hey, everybody, one more time, remember that go to UniFi, register. There's all sorts of wonderful ways you can connect. Make sure you mark it. And thank you again, Tammy, for everything that you do. God bless you.
Thank you, Scott. Blessings.
And it is time to move and groove. Here is Omoshar.
Tammy, thank you. That was so inspiring. I find some people like yourself so eloquent. It's like my mind just sits down like a little child watching a mother giving a true story. I'm not too sure what to say, but I was so inspired by the way you emote and the way you speak what is in my heart, what is in my cells. And that analogy of the dropper and the bucket, how simple, but how true. And here we are doing it. So thank you, sister. Thank you so much.
And Tammy, please take a look at all the comments coming in the chat box from Kristen Hoffman, Rev Deb, Ayada, Grace. Just the chat box is kind of just filling up with people appreciating your wisdom and all that you shared.
Shed the cross of ages, revealing light within the fall. We share the joy in living, as finally we know. No thought about a future. This moment is all we have to know. We walk the path together, hand in hand we grow. As we walk on earth, we're building an eternity. Now all can see the way back home again, bridging heaven and earth. flows like a river to which the world can come to drink. An ocean went together, and with one mind we think, as we walk on earth, we're building an eternity. Now all can see the way back home again, bridging heaven and earth. And finally we know, as we walk on earth, we're building an eternity. Now all can see the way back home again, bridging heaven and earth.
Thank you so much, Omashar. I'm going to go to gallery view over there. Give you some good twinkles. And thank you, everybody, for moving and grooving and dancing to the music. Thank you so much.
I love the twinkles. Thank you so much. And just the way, again, I still have, Tammy, your voice reverberating in my head, how we are not alone and we are safe. And in each other's company, we're rising, we're lifting, we're growing, we're expanding, becoming more conscious, making reparations, becoming more conscious. Thank you. Thank you, Becky, too. Love you, sweetie.
Well, I wanted to bring Becky on. She's been up since God knows when. So we are going to release her. I think I saw Ben a moment ago. So if I can, I'm going to bring Ben up too. Where are you, Ben? Are you still with us? I saw him a moment ago.
He's under Unity Earth.
There he is. There he is.
I see him. He's in his car. There he is.
There he is. Hey, Ben.
Hiya, Ben.
Oh, hi. Sorry, Scott. I was just on a call. Hi. I was just listening to a bit of Omashar's, and then I was talking to my mum. Hi, everybody. This is beautiful. I caught a lot of what Tammy was sharing, and I'm down here at the Oval. It's a beautiful sunny day, and Liam's doing some cricket training over there. So it's it's from one thing to the next, from the sublime to the practical and pragmatic. But thank you, Scott. I'm not sure if there was a question attached, but I'm just here loving it all, loving the Global Peace Tribe, and loving the field and the vibe and the community here. And you, Scott, thank you. And you, Becky. Happy to contribute something if there's something specific.
I just wanted to say thank you to you and Becky. I know that both of you have other things you need to move on to. So I just wanted to bring you back on one more time, just to thank you for what an amazing job you've done this weekend. And it's not over. We've got amazing coming up tomorrow, both of the sessions pre-Super Bowl. Very, very exciting. So just wanted to give you lots and lots of love and appreciation, Ben and Becky.
Thank you. Thank you. And can I just say, although she's not here, that Irina Morrison, oh my goodness. I mean, when Deborah was talking before about taking this on as Unity Earth and producing it, absolutely. Irina's done the majority of the outreach and the engagement and the interacting. Imagine 50, 60 speakers. There's probably about 120 people we had interaction with, and emails and follow-ups, and then the posters and the graphics from Ayana and the website from Derek. Like, it's a huge team. a lot of people who really are behind the scenes. So just wanting to acknowledge and shout that out. And one last thing, Scott, thank you. And you, I know you're such a big proponent of this, but thank God for our musicians. You know, we have Tatiana here, beautiful music today, and Gary Malkin and Kristen and Omashar and all of the beautiful musicians that inspire us and lift us up and connect us and heal us and move us. Music really is at the heart of this
And
movement.
Antoinette is here too.
Antoinette, Root's
Yeah.
daughter, of course. Thank you, Becky. Absolutely. It's amazing. It's amazing. We are blessed with the most incredibly spiritual, hearted, devoted, dedicated, genius musicians. I think I've mentioned Gary Malcolm, but if I haven't, I mean, then there are more and more and more and more. But these guys are the superstars. And these, let's not rest until these are household names: Kristen Hoffman, Tatiana Speed, Antoinette Root's daughter, Omisha, Gary Malcolm. We should be a world tour of transformation,
Absolutely.
the global peace tribe, big enough from global to be the next big thing. Yes. Japan can be the first leg. You're right on. So thank God
That's
for
why
the
I first learned
musicians.
music is Japan. That's where
my
I
goodness.
first learned how to play my keyboards was in Japan. Watching the Japanese.
You know, I'm so glad you're bringing up the musicians and all the people here, and it's important for us to support everyone. Kristen, of course, is one of our regulars. We support her through Patreon. Antoinette, we support her GoFundMe's. And I want to take a moment just to direct people to Becky. One of the people that I support through Patreon is Becky. And she's always working behind the scenes. But let me tell you, she is an artist in her own right. I just recently watched a beautiful 10-minute video of her with the water and by her land. I was a little concerned because it was cold and she was in bare feet, but I guess she survived that okay.
I put my feet in the river.
I was having some, oh my God, that's cold. But, you know, I know a lot of people that we support. Nina Gray, we support their Patreon. And I really want to encourage people to consider supporting Becky and her Joy Fuel. And Becky, tell us a little bit about Joy Fuel, what that is.
Well, thank you so much, Scott. So I'm really grateful. So I've been doing experiments in gift economy for 13 years. And what that means to me is how can I show up and give of my work and my heart where I might be a blessing, and give and receive money as an expression of love. Like, how do I do things and work without the transactional aspect of money? So I've been really just, going deep inside of myself and giving and supporting. And if I had price tags associated with my work, I wouldn't be able to do the amplification for so many different people that I've been supporting. And now this year, I'm really stepping forward and letting people know about how I've been working in gift economy, because in order for me to continue to do that, I need to be supported as well. And so some of my own artistry and my writing, I'm a writer. A lot of people don't know that. I'm a musician. A lot of people don't know that. And this year, I'm hoping to devote some of the time on my Joy Fuel channel, not only to amplifying other people's work, but also finding time to have that creative expression come through me and share some of my work. And the videos that my beloved partner Robert and I are devoted to creating this year, we have the first one up. And we're really excited about it. He's a videographer, and we get to play, which go on walks. I'm calling them Walking with Spirit. And on my Patreon channel, it's like a channel because I share a lot of the different things that we're involved with. I shared recordings of sermons that I give. And so I'm really grateful to be able to share some of the artistry that's coming through me and amplify it. And hopefully people who feel inspired might be able to support me as well, using money as an expression of gratitude and love, which I'm very grateful. So thank you for giving me a moment to share more about that. Really grateful.
Absolutely. I'm going to read just a few comments. If we haven't embarrassed you enough yet, to embarrass you just a little bit more. Connie, our beloved Connie and Andrew says, yes, dear Becky, give what you have, receive more than you can fathom. It's a frequency thing. Pam writes, how blessed I feel to be part of and included in this amazing and beautiful Global Peace Tribe family. Our beloved Christian Hoffman writes, "It's so fun to support Reverend Becky. I love this being a joy fueler too. Becky is the gift." And we all know her as Becky, but she is also Reverend Rebecca. And I want to acknowledge that part of you as well, my friend.
It's such a blessing, and I'm in awe, of all of the work that we get to amplify, Scott. All of this, every heart has a song, and doing that, holding space in these sacred Zoom rooms, and I do the thing called the Joy Fuel Kindcast as well, which I'm going to be doing some of those episodes this year, which is a podcast that I haven't been doing the last few years because I've been so busy doing this other work. So I'm excited about that. So those will be out on my channel. So thank you.
I'm going to bring up Gary because he's who's up next.
Gary.
And Gary wrote something in the chat box, but Gary, I'm going to let you say it to Rebecca directly.
You are beautiful, Gary.
I said Becky is a force of generosity, kindness, inspiration, and service. What else did I say? Oh, a world with Becky is a world with joy, hope, and connection. I love you, Becky. You're such an incredible pioneer of kindness, generosity, and service. I mean, I'm just so I'm in awe of the service that you've exhibited. From the moment I got involved with this community, you've been at the center of it. I so love you and thank you.
Oh, I love you, Gary. Thank you so much, brother. I can't wait for that real person hug we're going to have, hopefully this year.
I think now that I'm on the East Coast, yes.
Yes. I'm in North Carolina. So much love. Thank
Gary
you.
gives good hug. I can.
So do you, Scott.
As Christian just wrote in the chat box, it's a love fest in the house.
It is Valentine's Day coming up too.
That's right.
I love you both, all three of you. Woo.
Yay.
Yes. Do the brother Phil. I'm going to come in there and just give you a hug. I don't know if he's still here, but.
Well, thank you again, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Reverend Rebecca. And we're going to move on to our next wonderful presenter. He's, of course, been on this show many, many times, and he's a brilliant musical artist. But Gary Malkin is also just a great heart and a wise, wise man. And I'm so grateful that you and I have been able to spend some quality time together recently. We were together at Ashland. I went to your amazing concert, your holiday concert in Marin County.
Oh, with Miranda. Yeah.
With Miranda. Anyway, I'm turning it over to you to share with our awakening world what you're up to and some of the great things that I want you to share what you're doing.
Thank you, Scott. Well, I really just want to hang out with everybody with some of the things that matter most to me, some of the things I'm exploring. I'm now 7 days into my official leaving of 51 years in Marin County and looking for my next home. And I'm in Western Massachusetts in the home of Hope Fitzgerald, my partner in the You Awake educational platform that I'll tell you more about. But I'm with a phenomenal ally and friend that's working with me in creating my new website, GaryMalkin.com. I've been hiding behind Wisdom of the World for many, many years. And now I finally get that I am a gift to the world, and I'm going to celebrate that. So I'm going to offer all kinds of things. What I wanted to share was, first of all, the honor that I feel at being shown what collaboration looks like. When I see the way Ben and his team use inclusiveness as their superpower, use this energy of such radical co-creative collaboration. When I'm the artistic director at Global Peace Week and I get to see how he does what he does, and John Raymer and the team, the two of them that have forced, this is a phenomenal experiment in new levels of collaboration. And Tammy, to hear you articulate, I mean, I'm going to take my whole presentation time out acknowledging everybody else here, but really it's just what I want to do is you've inspired me to want to share something I wasn't going to share. So when you guys were talking about take the arts to the road, I developed a document called the Resonance Revolution Tour. And I really developed a plan for going to city after city and having events that bring chant and meditation and songwriting and spoken word and artists and community building in a context like what I did, Scott, when I did the Soul Song events in Marin County. And I call it the Resonance Revolution Tour. And Emmanuel Kunzelman and Laura Rose have given me the support to be calling myself an emissary of the Holo movement. And part of the document that I created to make a justification for that Holo movement is I wanted to read you the 2 paragraphs I wrote that kind of justify the tour. And so maybe there really is going to be a tour that's not just about Gary Malkin, and I would love to co-create that and make that happen in the world. But I wanted to share these 2 paragraphs. First, I just want to take a moment. It's so exciting to have everything that I used to have. I let it all go except for my grand piano. And I'm in this whole new adventure in my life. And I never knew that letting go of everything would give me so much freedom. So the freedom to be able to say this, what I'm about to say, the notion that intellect alone can address our global challenges is flawed. True solutions emerge when the brilliance of the mind is harmonized with the heart's wisdom, a realm where the arts flourish. Music, media, and artistic expression are not just languages. They are soulful bridges, transcending barriers often impenetrable to the mere intellect. In today's world, the arts are more than just cultural pursuit. They're imperative forms of unifying us all for a future that works for all. Imagine a world where millions of people activated by music and the expressive arts would rally under this unitive vision, manifesting a conscious, compassionate, and united global community. This vision can become our shared reality. The immersive arts evoke compassion. They illuminate our interconnectedness. They trigger profound emotions, and they foster a shared sense of our humanity, paving the way for dialogue, reflection, and healing. Now more than ever, our world needs an infusion of love, unity, and purpose that can weave the ethos of the Holo movement and the dream of a more compassionate society into the very fabric of our global consciousness. Through the unparalleled power of the arts, we aim to inspire, connect, and catalyze unifying change on a global scale. That's the heartbeat behind the Resonance Revolution Tour that I'm cooking up. And I'm inviting all the tools that are about co-creative and collaborative intelligence. That anyone that wants to really support this dream, there's a new nonprofit called the Global Wisdom Foundation that doesn't even have a website yet. But thanks to my beloved friend, Adam Gaskill, who started the nonprofitcreators.com, he's helped me create this nonprofit. And I don't even have a link to ask for money yet. So it's that new. But I'm excited because I really know what I'm here for. And this is I'm an emissary of the Holo movement. And I'm standing behind that. That's my world. So I wasn't going to share this. I was going to share music. And in the minutes I have left, how many minutes do I have left, Scott?
You go for it. I'd love for you to share some music or one of your videos.
Well, that's all right. So first, this morning, what I did on the symposium was I realized, in the 7 days of rest, I really understood something about listening together, even on Zoom, as like a digital fire, the listening fire, around which we reclaim our primordial connection to ourselves, to each other, and to the planet. And that there's something about I loved what you said, Tammy, about the dropper, the interconnectedness, that everybody matters. Everyone is creating and a part of this primordial oneness, right? So then I thought, well, we can take long periods of time to listen together, but what if I could demonstrate that in under a minute, you can actually shift. Just think about the interstitial fluid in your body, the water in your body, as cymatic fluid. The cymatics is basically the science of sound made visible, right? Well, imagine your bloodstream needs time to melt and thaw and liquefy biochemically into these geometric patterns that the music awakens us to, that translates as an emotional experience. I'm going to give you an example again, because this morning I did it, and I have some examples. Because what's astounding to me is that I didn't realize that the art of film scoring, which I've devoted my professional career to, is the art of using the power of vibration, of music, to sculpt emotional experiences that transfer directly into your cells, into our turning the world of formlessness into the form of our body. So I'm just going to share, for example, one of the first steps of allowing ourselves to create room for inspiration is to allow sorrow, to allow us to unburden what is feeling sad in us, and to be vulnerable together as a community with what is dying right now, right? So here's a piece of music, maybe two, but here's a short piece, and it just drops you into, listen to this. And just close your eyes. And just allow yourself to melt into the experience of what has been lost. Breathe into the love that's behind allowing yourself to feel that. Breathe into whatever you want to unburden. And in a minute, you can create room for yourself to feel your humanity, beauty of you, of life. And the spaciousness lets your heart and soul come back online. And notice how it's dying. Listen to this, the music dies. And the spaciousness that happens when you let the music die is that you feel the result of your listening practice. And let's say you wanted to feel some awe for the miracle of these people that are global citizens that are stepping together on behalf of the sacred mission that we have as human beings. I loved what you said, Tammy, that every single human being has the innate birthright and privilege to be an integral part of the fractals of all the sacred mission of our humanity. So in that sense, that piece of music was from a film I scored about it doesn't matter. It was about Auschwitz, right? It was about Auschwitz. This one was from Thrive, and it was about scaling the universe, right? But what I hear this music as is the gravitas and the power and the beauty and the credibility of the dignity of the movement that we are all saying yes to. So check out this and allow yourself to feel proud to be a part of the sacred mission of humanity. And what if listening to a piece of music for a minute can actually stretch your ability to be more human by expanding your emotional range? It's almost like vibro-emotional calisthenics, allowing your emotions and your molecules to actually expand even bigger than you thought you could just by the power of this music. Check it out. Close your eyes and feel the gravity of this. Breathe deep. Earth. Wisdom. Depth. The music take you. So my fear with this kind of sharing is that, oh, I'm taking you all these different places and it's always so beautiful to drop in for a nice lengthy time. But there is something to be learned from the film scoring art. That was a cue I wrote for Thrive, the sequel to Thrive, Thrive 2, that got released. And if you guys want to experience Thrive in a whole different way, these albums are available on my website. And you just listen to these mood changes as a way to expand your emotional range, which is a way of expanding your wholeness and your humanity. That's the center of the universal language of music, right? I know that we're probably over time, so I'm just going to play probably, may I have time to one more thing?
Absolutely, Gary. I'm loving your sharing, so go for it.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, this is really, I didn't think I'd end with this, but there's a quote that Brene Brown wrote a book called The Atlas of the Heart. And she talks about the fact that people that are not, oh, here it is. I just want to read this. She says, there are too many people in the world today who decide to live disappointed rather than risk feeling disappointment. This can take the shape of numbing, foreboding joy, being cynical or critical, or just never really fully engaging, right? Another one she says is, those who are able to distinguish between a range of various emotions do much better at managing the ups and downs of ordinary existence than those who see everything in black and white. So this really supports my claim that music has a direct listening without having to look at other things, without having to do other things. The ancient art of listening, just listening, the way you'd be around a fire listening to crickets, and the sense of listening to the field. Listening is a way to come in connection with the interconnected of all things. But if there's a wound that's unaddressed, what if there was a way to honor your inner child and to deepen that honoring by just dropping in some music that reclaims a sense of innocence? And so many, that's why I love, Tatiana, what you offered. And I said that medicine was so important because there are a lot of wounded traumatized inner children walking around in the 8 billion people in the world today. So just a little taste of a track that I created for Sarah McCrum as a taste of revisiting the innocence of your inner child, and just see how when you find the right music for the medicine you need, these days, with the complexity of these times, sometimes we need the medicine of the music to drop us even deeper. So here's a piece of music called The Fluffiest Dog in the Universe that Sarah McCrum and I created. And I took her words out, and this is what emerged. So just close your eyes. And if you could, put your hands on your shoulders and give yourself a little hug. And hold yourself as if you are the little child that you've always wanted to hold. Just feel the tenderness of your little child. The one that loves being held. Listening can take us there. And if you can, even just let yourself sway a little bit. Just feeling the innocence of your inner child that wants to be loved every day, even just a few breaths. I've completely ignored time, but my goal here with the Global Wisdom Foundation in the way that I score wisdom, but also I really want there to be a reclaiming of listening, a listening revolution, a remembrance of listening as a sacred communion act with ourselves, each other, and the planet. I think it would be a good thing if we remembered how powerful music can shape us and guide us and tune us, delight us, heal us. So that's my share today, and I thank you for the opportunity to be myself completely with you.
Oh, I love you so much. I'm going to read a couple comments. Tammy just wrote, "This is so beautiful, Gary. Thank you." Whoops. "Thank you. You are magical in your ability to communicate the fullness of what transcends words and truly move us."
Wow.
Christian Hoffman writes, "Yes to listening. I love you, Gary. Beautiful. Thank you, brother." Christy Michael says, "We hear you." Beth writes, "This put me in such a peaceful and present state." The comments are coming in so fast that it's like hard to, we're flying in too quickly. Ayada wrote, "Gary, that was some kind of powerful medicine. Something powerful happened for me. I'm not that able to identify it, but definitely expansion, release, magic." Carol writes, "Thank you, Gary. I could hear in my head as I was holding my head and swaying naturally before you even mentioned it. I heard, 'I love you, darling.'"
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I mean, just think about how that changes the world when we can all become more, by what I call vibrationally coherent, right? Coherent at every scale, right?
Beautiful.
So
Well,
thank you, Scott.
You can read them. Hey, I want to direct people because he does have a beautiful website. And his website is wisdomoftheworld.com, wisdomoftheworld.com. And there's so many things happening on this website. Definitely join his community, which I've done about a dozen times.
Well, by the way, what's exciting is we're building this new website about the Resonance Revolution Tour, but we're also going to start a monthly newsletter at long last. And there's a podcast being planned, Islands of Inner Peace podcast. There's lots of exciting things coming thanks to my work with my team. And I'm just thrilled about what's coming up. It's really exciting.
Beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
Wisdom of the
And-
World is where
And the You Awake, the platform. Are you doing that?
Yes.
So
yes.
what I'm excited about is this new educational platform with medium and spiritual guide and author Hope Fitzgerald, who just wrote the book called The Infinity Wave. And we have a website called u-awake.com. And I think, Scott, you can put it in the chat. And it's for the first time in 23 years since Graceful Passages came out, we have a workshop to help cultivate grief literacy, resilience, and the mastering the art of change. This is one of the greatest stealers of people's purpose. Because when you have unattended and unacknowledged grief and loss, the first thing to go is your bright, shiny passion for what it is you came here for. So this You Awake is a workshop. We're doing the first weekend in May in Asheville, North Carolina, a live event, and possibly a benefit with the Center for Conscious Living and Dying in Asheville as well. So anyway, look for us on that site. We'd love you to join us.
I'm putting it into the website right now. And again, everybody watching on Facebook, it's u-awake.com. u-awake.com. Thank you, Gary.
Love you guys. Thank you.
You know, for any of you that are watching the show for the first time, every show is amazing. We've done about 500 of these, a little more than 500 since we started. And I got to say, almost every show is just filled with inspiration, information. And so I want to invite people that if you have not joined the Global Peace Tribe yet, please do so. It's really easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com. I should probably change my backdrop back to that so you can remember it. Globalpeacetribe.com. Globalpeacetribe.com. If you go to the website, you can learn all about us. You can discover our YouTube channel. We do a lot of events. For example, last Sunday night, we did a conversation with Marianne Williamson, which actually turned out to be her last online event before she concluded her incredible quest for the presidency. Anyway, we do amazing shows. We do always at least 2 shows, Wednesday nights and Saturday nights, and usually something special in between, with amazing presenters and amazing co-hosts. We also provide a free meditation every night at 6:30 in the evening. And this is the show that we did on Wednesday night of this week, all about understanding, embodying intelligent love. You've heard of mental intelligence, IQ, emotional intelligence, EQ. On Wednesday night, we learned about LQ, love quotient. And of course, this is the show that we're doing right now, Awakening to Humanity's Sacred Mission. So go to globalpeacetribe.com, register. You're going to get the links to all of our shows and join us. It's a beautiful community. We do big events, and we want to invite you to be a part of this. Speaking of Marianne Williamson, a few people have asked, how come we haven't gotten the recording? So I want to address that briefly. Many of you already know, but for those who don't, a few weeks ago, Wendy, who's the campaign manager for Marianne, reached out to me. And 4 years ago, when Marianne ran for president, they used my Zoom room, because I'm kind of Zoom savvy. They used my Zoom room for all of her campaign and Zoom appearances. So I got to know her and the campaign quite well. I got a contact from Wendy a few weeks ago, and she said, Scott, we're close to the end. We might be wrapping things up soon, and would love to do something with Global Peace Tribe before the campaign ends. So we scheduled Sunday, February 4th, last Sunday, knowing that her last primary was probably going to be the Nevada primary on Tuesday. Knowing it was close to the end and that Marianne had really, it's been a hard campaign for her. We arranged for Reverend Michael Beckwith and Andrew Harvey and Catherine Woodward Thomas, who's her best friend, to all give her opening remarks before she even said anything. When she came on, we introduced her And then on came Andrew Harvey by video with an incredibly eloquent love for Marianne, and then Michael Beckwith, and then Catherine. And meanwhile, all of our global peace drivers, we had over 200 people in the Zoom room thanking her and appreciating her. And she just melted into this very beautiful, relaxed state. And remember that this is her tribe. And so she felt comfortable to share with us what it's been like for her and how challenging it's been. And about 45 minutes into the show, all of a sudden she goes, Scott, are we recording this? I said, yeah, we're recording. And in fact, we're going out to about 125 Facebook groups and pages through the Sign Network. She goes, oh my God, I've been too vulnerable. I've been too vulnerable, please. So I stopped the live stream. I promised her we wouldn't send the recording out. I went back and deleted the videos. And after the show was over, she immediately texted me and said, thank you so much. I needed that. And please, I was too vulnerable. I don't want that to go out into the world. So that's why we have not shared the recording, even though we had actually 550 people register. But I wanted to honor my commitment to Marianne. However, she has agreed that she's going to come back onto Global Peace Tribe and do another program with us sometime in March. So stay tuned. We'll have another special event with Marianne. I am putting into the chat box her kind of thank you video for those who did support her campaign. And so that's in the chat box. And also we can still donate because her campaign has a lot of expenses that need to be paid. And Marianne, like Gary Malkin, like Tatiana, like all the people you see, she is part of our family. That's why I wanted to take a little bit of time to share with you about Marianne. And for those of you that were with us on Sunday, thank you for being with us. It was a very powerful and special night, and we will remember that for a long time. Mark's asking, is it too late to have her join back into the race? She's done this time around. She's done. It's not a real primary season. The Democratic Party, the idea of a primary is to figure out who gets to run as a Democrat. She was about the only person going up against Joe Biden. And the Democratic Party does not want there to be anybody other than Joe Biden. So she did not get support. And in fact, it's almost cruel, some of the things that happened to her. So, but very much like Tammy was talking about the drops of paint that changed the color, definitely Marianne lit many candles during her campaign. And we're grateful to her for that. All right, we are going to go to Tatiana. And after all that we heard from Gary and talking about kind of the bittersweet story of Marianne, how perfect to go to that soft, soothing, wonderful voice that belongs to Tatiana Speed.
Thank you, Scott. Oh, I wish I had been there for Marianne now. I was thinking there was going to be a recording, so I'm just feeling like, oh, that's really special, though. It sounds like what she shared with you, like very, very, that feels like an honor to me that she shared that with you and was vulnerable on your show. And I feel like that says so much about this community and about you, that she could feel safe like that to.
Yeah, it was a gift for us to be there for her and to see her and to also learn, we all have a job to do, and the job she chose is one of the most difficult jobs of anyone that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing. I feel like I got a little bit of the grace from that sharing. Okay, I'm gonna put you all back on gallery. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to share another song off the Lullabies for Adults album. This is a little bit of a different flavor. It's a song that's later in the album, towards the very end, and this one really speaks to this topic of embodied awakening. So once we've done this work of really landing in our bodies and digesting the unmet feelings and contents that we hold in these incredible vessels and we've been able to metabolize that, our body becomes so much more open and receptive to more light, to more life, as we resolve and soften and heal the constrictions and tensions that we hold. And what I feel happening around the world right now, which I find so exciting, is that more and more people are awakening, more and more people are having this deeper recognition of who we are. And unlike previous time periods or eras, our mystics don't have to retreat. You know, in the past, mystics who were interested in this deeper dimension of who we are would retreat to the mountains and caves or into monasteries. And what I feel happening now is that we want to become mystics without monasteries. We're ready to awaken and then bring that awakening into our body and emanate it out into this world. And I feel there's like a great mystery here in uncovering who we are, because we're so much more than we even realize, is my feeling. And I feel that so many of us are awakening right now and starting to sense this. And as we grow stronger in that knowing, we're going to be an unstoppable force. So in this moment, just inviting you to just sort of rest. You can close your eyes again. Take a few deep breaths and see if you can sense, you know, people call it the soul or your higher self, the part of you that is brilliant, unchanging, that comes from the source of love itself, the divine qualities of you. And then, you know, I think it's quite amazing, you know, so many of our mystics would just meditate and attain these advanced states of consciousness, but we are bringing them back. So you can imagine that light coming into your body and feeling your body as the temple of the living God, and that's you. We are a bridge between heaven and earth. And when we bring our spirit into our flesh, our lives become imbued with this the holiness of who we are. So just let yourself land and feel your body as the temple. Rest inside yourself. Let yourself land, let yourself feel. Let yourself open to the deeper dimension of who you are. Like a rose blooming, blessed by the sun, we are awakening and unfolding, softening undone. My body is a temple where I go to pray. I kneel in devotion and silently say, let me remember who I am. Let me remember who I am. Awake me, awake my ancient memories. Let me remember. We are so much more than we have been led to believe. Our wisdom has been lost for centuries. Our hearts are the altar where we go to pray. Deep in this temple, we dance and sway. We are ready now to awaken and remember. Let me remember who I am. Let me remember who I am. Awake me, awake my ancient memories. Inanna, 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 inanna. Oh, inanna, hey, inanna. Oh, inanna, hey, inanna. Oh, inanna, hey, inanna. Oh, inanna, hey, inanna. Oh, let me remember. Oh, let me remember. 'Cause we are ready now to awaken and remember. We are ready now to awaken and remember.
Oh, give her some beautiful twinkles. As I just love your music so much. And I think our whole tribe does. It's just, you have such a, you're so soulful. That's what it is. It's like your soul, your beautiful spirit just comes right through, right into our heart.
Thank you, Scott.
I want to let people know how we can support her and get more Tatiana speed. Let's start by going to her website, which is her name, TatianaSpeed.com. TatianaSpeed.com. You can learn all about her. She's got beautiful video, I Am Space. And of course, that's where we can learn about what she's got coming up, her albums. And we're excited about the lullabies for adults.
Yeah, if you want to show them the campaign. Actually, a couple people I see already sent some contributions, and I just want to say that that just touched my heart so much. You just have no idea. I was just like, oh, wow. So thank you so much to the people that have contributed to making this album and this music possible. I appreciate it so much.
That's right. I see that the number is higher than it was when we started today. So there it is. There's her Kickstarter campaign. Again, I'll put the link into the chat box. For those of you watching on Facebook, I've posted it on my Facebook profile page. And yeah, let's all support her beautiful album. Plus, you guys get a copy of the album. You can download it, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it helps us to go to sleep. We can all just like rest in those beautiful lullabies. Tatiana, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence, your beautiful music. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Well, we have some really important Global Peace Tribe announcements tonight. I recognize we're running a little bit late. I do want to say we are still going to have a beautiful KES group healing experience. So definitely stick around for that. But we also have some really important announcements and some important things that are taking place. And I'm going to start by turning our attention over to Mary. And there you are. I was looking for you. Hi, Mary. Thank you for being with us again tonight. Those of you who were with us on Wednesday night heard her speak. I'm not going to show the video again, but there is something that Mary's offering that's very special. And so, Mary, I'd love for you to give our audience an opportunity. You need to unmute still, to talk a little bit about this very unique offering that you have for us.
Thank you. I think I'll riff a little off of that amazing music, Tatiana. So beautiful, so perfect. You know, I often kind of hyphenate when I talk about this work, remember, kind of like we're pulling ourselves together. And the elders that I support, that the Tatiana Foundation supports, they activate something called segwa, which are sacred seeds. They're in everything. And they're in us as well. And so that awaken and remember, yeah. And our respond ability, I do the same with those two words, like our ability to respond to something. So I'm so grateful to the weaving that's happening here with this whole group, and really want to thank you for that. And thank you, Scott, for having me on and letting me speak to this this call, which is, you know, thoughts are the most important thing to the elders that I work with, who are most well known as the Kogi. There are other tribes, but most people know who the Kogi are. And I'll just tell a quick story to kind of illustrate it. Like if in the beginning days of working with them, I would, you know, be my normal self and I would get angry sometimes. They would immediately call and they said, "What are you doing?" I would say, "Nothing, not doing." And they say, but whatever you're doing, you need to stop it because you're opening the wrong doors. So that's how connected they are to energy, and that's how connected they are to thoughts, and that's how important it is to them that we are able to think clear thoughts, and that's what Tayuna means. And people are always asking us, people who've experienced working with them are just what comes over them, the segwa or just the space or just observing what's going on in nature. They're just pretty blown away by the work. And so they always ask us, you know, what can we do? How can we do this? And so we're providing the opportunity for people to learn how to do what they do. And they're teaching us, 20 of us, very intimate group. It's definitely a calling. It's not like something like, well, maybe, no, it's like, you know, or you don't know, because it's really, really deep. And it's everybody who comes to this work is like, I just know I have to do that. I don't even know what it is. I just know it has to, I always wanted to work with them. I've seen them in my dreams, whatever. And so that's the deal. I think, Scott, you have the link to the webpage. So there's a beautiful testimonial on there, which is doing an incredible job of just, you know, a guy who's been meditating for 30 years, a guy that we use for the beta test, because we've tested this out to see how it would work with Westerners. And, you know, 30-year meditator. And he said that this practice, this Zawangashi practice that we're going to do with this group of 20 people, brought him to a whole new level after 30 years of meditating. So watch the testimonial video if you have any questions at all. And basically, I mean, I could say a lot, and I know that it's late, and you know.
You know, I'm actually on your website and I'm trying to find the specific workshop. Oh, here it is. Okay, got
There it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you go to Teyuna, TEYUNA.org/workshops, and it's this remarkable opportunity to learn directly from these Indigenous elders. There will be a couple of opportunities to learn more. They're doing some Zoom introductories. And then the people that decide to do this, it's a commitment of 10 days from February 16th to the 24th. Each event is about 90 minutes long. from 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific time, for about 90 minutes. And it's going to be a very experiential experience. As she said, they're limiting it to a very small number of people. And so it is one of those things that if you really feel guided to really be in coherence with a powerful indigenous wisdom, and to feel more connected to the earth by really bonding for 10 days with this community of people that are going to do this experience. It really does sound like a once in a lifetime kind of experience. And that's why I'm doing something that I'd never do. I don't think I've ever promoted a workshop, twice in 5 days or twice in 4 days.
Thank you.
But this is very unique and very special. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mary?
Oh, so much. And it's late, and I just appreciate the moment to just talk about it. I mean, it's just been so magical for me to have the connection with them. And even as an earth steward, growing up in a family where equal importance was given to spirit, soul, and body, and thinking I was so connected to nature. And then when I met them, I was like, oh my God, like it's been child's play. Up until now, it's been child's play. So yeah, I just want to share whatever I can share that works for people, and happy to share if you want to call me or whatever.
Yeah. Laura's asking, will you please ask Mary, what language will be spoken, Mary? How's the language?
This is a good point. This is a big part of our thing, because usually it's translating the native and language into Spanish and then translating the Spanish into English. And it takes a long time. So we have a whole team of people doing simultaneous translation this time. So it'll be in English and in Spanish. And yeah, all at the same time, which is totally new.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you very much. It's going to be an amazing experience. Again, I've put the link into the website where you can reach out, learn more, reach out to Mary. Mary, you might want to put maybe your email address in the chat box. And thank you for what you're doing. And again, the Kogi people, many of you have seen that video. We played it on Wednesday night. The message from our mother, that's the Kogi people that put that out. So as I said, this is an incredible time on the planet, and we're getting the message in many different ways. We've heard in many different ways tonight alone. I'm also going to bring up another global peace triber, Christy Michaels, who has also something very special she does every year. Hi, Christy.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
And great. Thank you so much, Scott. This is as amazing as ever, as always. So inspiring, everything that's happening. And shout out to Antoinette and to Gary and whatnot. And wow, so powerful. I heard Barbara Marx Hubbard speak back in 2012 when her book came out about the future for for where do we go from here. And one of the things she was saying was that if we really want to have enlightened partnerships, we really should gather together those couples, those people who are really working the edges of what it means to be in a conscious, loving relationship. So you and the Global Peace Tribe are going to be thrilled to know that Scott Katamas has agreed to come on my show and be one of the presenters with his new beloved. Now, Scott Katamas, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you've probably coached as a love coach with the Love Coach Academy. You've probably coached over 1,000 couples.
That's correct.
Yeah. So this man is steeped in wisdom, and you've all seen and witnessed firsthand his heartfelt, unbelievable dedication to building the Global Peace Tribe community at not only his local level, but at the global level, and bringing all these evolutionary leaders. But evolutionary leaders need empowered, enlightened couples couples who are doing the work, the balance of the male and the female in harmony, working collaboratively together, being whole and so effective in their wholeness that they inspire and help others. So Scott's going to be one of our presenters on the, and we do it, this is an annual event that I do. It's on 2/22. It'll be at 6:30 Pacific Coast time. And I've got another one of Scott's favorite friends, Heather and Donnie, who are very amazingly conscious, and they're going to do a whole musical meditation to take you into your heart. And I've got Diana Kelly and Dan Morris, who've been on. They have come on and done wonderful work with, you know, they do conscious work. Diana does conscious conception, and then you get a bonus of May and Victor Gold's talk that they gave in 2/22/22. But they were one of the most powerful couples that ever talked, because May was brutally sexually abused by her father, and Victor and her marriage, they have now a really, what I would consider a truly enlightened marriage. Amazing. And there's my daughter and her partner Ari, who are incredible astrologers and musicians. So we have fabulous music. Go scroll up to the top and show your beloved, God, if you can.
Well, now, so I'm a little shy about this because
Oh no,
we are certainly not enlightened. We are.
Well, now wait a minute. I put up the definition of enlightenment. If you go to the Webster Dictionary and you look at it, what it says is, and to be enlightened means to be not misinformed. That's the definition. So it's like we're informing each other on how to be, and we're all doing the best we can. We're moving forward to bring forth the consciousness. And and this is what Barbara said to me. She said, you've got to gather these people together, because nobody, even her relationship was not, she was having a rocky time. And she said, we've got to get together so that we can kind of begin to understand, for those of us who are willing to explore the edges of conscious relationship, how's it working? What are you doing? What success are you having? And even the newbies, you know, it's like when you start out as a brand new, how do you launch into a conscious relationship? You know, there's wisdom there, Scott. You can't tell me you don't have wisdom to bring forth.
No. But I just want to, you know, honestly, when I presented it to Deborah, and she said, shouldn't we wait a few years before we're talking about
No, we don't have a few years, because we need the power couples. Deb, is Deb still on this call? Don't we need the power couples? I mean, Ben, don't we need the power couples? What about John and Summer? Don't we need the power couples? Becky and your partner, don't we need the power couples? The power couples who walk and have their being in we are equal. So we respect each other, we love each other, and that modeling is the demonstration that is so much more effective than you know, taking tons and tons of courses. Because when you see it modeled in somebody who's actually really doing the work to embody it, it makes all the difference in the world. And Scott, I just love you so much, because you go to the ninth, you go to the ends. I mean, you have been so gracious, you've been so spacious, you've allowed me to come on and do my Magdalene, and I'm going to bring the Magdalene in, believe me, because we have really missed out on understanding just what an empowered relationship she had. She took on Peter, and she put Peter in his place. That's one of my next videos I'm going to be doing. So people understand, how did she do it? You know, she launched Christianity, but she launched it as a path of love. And then the Romanization of Christianity tried to kill it. So we need to bring her back. We need to bring her back in her rightful equal place. We don't even have the Equal Rights Amendments ratified. Do you understand? Women have not had the Equal Rights Amendment ratified. This is not okay. This is not work. That means that women who do equal work as a man cannot get paid the same equal pay and be considered, even acknowledged by the Constitution that we are equal. You know, we got 3/4 of the states to ratify, which was the requirement. All the requirements met.
Christy,
Anyway, yeah.
what you're saying is important, and we have to move on.
I know. Sorry, you know me. You know me.
That's
Once I
another
got
show.
going.
That's another show.
Yeah.
But a reminder that I will show the flyer that she made.
Oh, yes.
And it's a very sweet picture. I was taken on Christmas Day. And do join us on February 22nd at 6:30 p.m. And it is going to be a wonderful show. And I've participated in this show before with her, and it's beautiful. And if you go to gospelofmarymagdalene.info, gospelofmarymagdalene.info, and then you can just click here, and that gets you the Zoom room where you can come on in. You can, of course, get tickets on a donation basis. Definitely make sure that you follow Christy. She's somebody you definitely want to follow. She does such wonderful work.
Come on.
Thank you,
yes,
Scott.
thank you, Christy, and I love you so much. Thank you for
information in the thing, in the link in the chat.
Absolutely, pop it in the chat. We've got more announcements. I want to remind people that one of our favorite couples is Eleanor Joy and her beloved Ian, and we now are raising money for it's Eleanor Joy's turn. You know, we kind of supported Piper, and Piper's doing well. I talk to her almost every day. And now it is Eleanor Joy's month. February, this is Eleanor Joy month to support her. She's going in for her surgery. We love her very much. And please, everybody. And I see Deborah Moldau, Mark. Look at these are all our Global Peace Drivers. Deborah Moldau, Deborah Diarra, Mark Denisovsky. Those are all Global Peace Drivers supporting you. And that famous Global Peace Driver, Mr. Anonymous. So let's please support Eleanor Joy. It's really, really important. She's almost halfway. She's a little over halfway now of her goal. She's raised a little over 3,000, and we're going for 6,000. So let's get that support. Eleanor Joy, is there anything you'd like to say?
I'm just beyond, I don't know what to say. I'm so humbled and so grateful, because never in my life have I had such warm, loving support as I'm getting from this group. It's just amazing. And also my walking group has been very, very supportive as well, and other people. But thank you so much, because it means my income was going to be cut, and I still have to pay rent and other major expenses. Fortunately, we have a medical plan here in Canada, so I'm very grateful for that. But there's a whole bunch of other things. Yeah. So thank you, Scott. And Ayada is also on that list, and I really appreciate that. She's been a huge support. Yeah, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That's right. Ayada has been fabulous. So thank you, beautiful Global Peace Tribe, for supporting Eleanor Joy. And thank you, everybody, for all the support that you gave to Piper Dellums recently as well. I appreciate that a lot. All right, a couple more announcements very quickly, and then we're going to get to our KES group healing experience. But February is the month of love, and we've got some really wonderful shows planned for this month of love. We started it last week, where we learned all about IQ, all about intelligent love, and we're going to carry on. So this Wednesday night happens to be Valentine's night. Now, Valentine's can be a wonderful time for people, and it can also be a painful time for people. We recognize that. And so we are not just going to be doing a show for people that are in relationship, but we're going to be doing a show for everybody. And so I've invited some of my absolute favorite love coaches, people that I have a lot of respect for, to come on, and we're going to Let's kind of talk about ways that we can create more love in our life. So it's going to be a really fun show. So please join us on Wednesday night. And I'm going to bring up the poster right now. I thought I had downloaded it. There it is. Now I can bring it up and show it to everybody. Here we go. This is our show coming up on Wednesday night, Valentine's night. Katrina Valancourt, she is the co-founder of the Love Coach Academy. Christy talked about Love Coach Academy. That's my organization. Well, Katrina is who started it with me, and she created the Love Smart cards that many of you use. Of course, we'll have Brother Nicholas doing meditation. We'll have Omushar playing music. And then Steve Rowland, who is the founder of RelationFlix. We've done a few shows with RelationFlix. It is the platform for the best relationship coaches. He'll be with us. And that good-looking woman up in the upper right-hand corner is his new beloved, Nina. So they're going to also talk about what it's like to start a new relationship. And Star Wolf is coming back. She's an amazing shamanic healer, and she's going to lead us on a journey, taking us into more love. So that's what we've got coming up on Wednesday night. And then kind of as a follow-up for this show, we are going to be doing another show a week from tonight with John Raymer. And it's going to be kind of an opportunity for all of us to move forward with how can we have more of an awareness of our awakening to the awakening world. And I want to download this, so give me a moment. Once again, we've invited a lot of the people that we have a lot of respect for. And that includes Hallelujah Anasuya, one of, oops, wrong one. That's one of Christy's favorite people. So she's going to be with us. And then Tamsin Woolley Barker, and you might have seen her. She was on the Unity Earth Symposium this weekend. She's going to be with us. And then Harry and John, and they've all kind of worked together in creating this whole approach to how we can embrace our path forward, really moving forward with whatever our mission is. And we all have a mission. Some of us are already clear on what our mission is, and some of us are still figuring it out. And next week, we're going to be really supporting everyone to either empower what your mission is or how to find what your dharma is, whether it's short-term or long-term. So join us a week from tonight. It's going to be a very interactive show. Again, we'll have a KES Healing to wrap it up with Maggie. And you've seen her. She's been on the show before. And Kurt Kruger, making his first appearance on The Awakening World, will lead our meditation. So that's next week. I am really excited because we've had so many wonderful people on the show tonight. So many people that I love. And I'm about to introduce you to another person that I have such tremendous love for. And I've been asking her to be on The Awakening World for quite some time, and she's been shy about it, and she finally agreed. So it's my honor to introduce you to Charis. And Charis is coming to us from Germany. She is one of the pillars of the Twin Ray community. We would not have the Twin Ray community if it was not for this incredible woman. She is just a foundational part of our community. She has done so much to help us all connect to the Twin Ray. And she has just the biggest heart. Basically, she's a big heart with two legs. That's Charis. And she's also masterful in her capacity to heal. And she is a KES 3 healer. That's kind of the higher level. And I just am so excited that finally I get to introduce the Global Peace Tribe to beloved Charis. So welcome, Charis, to the Global Peace Tribe and to the Awakening World.
Oh, thank you so much, beloved Scott. Thank you. I am feeling deeply honored and grateful to be here with you all today, and so excited for this KES group holding session. And what an amazing show today. So, wow.
It has been a very, very, very special show. A very special day because, we're all in the Unity Earth Symposium and then coming together. And a lot of us have been together since 7 o'clock this morning. So for 13 hours, many of us have been together going from one event to the next. And I'm so glad we get to conclude it with your healing experience. For people who haven't experienced the KES healing, can you share a little bit about it, please?
Oh, yes, of course. So the Christic energy system, which is what KES stands for, is a future technology that was brought from the golden age by the twin ray, Shekinah Ma and Sanandaji, to us here. And it is a holding system that really goes beyond in the dimensions and realms of healing, as it goes through all levels of the system. And it goes beyond the conventional healing modalities that are out there. And I've done healing modalities before being put into contact with the KES and before learning it and being trained, and it has completely changed my life. There is truly no comparison to it, honestly. I have to say from my own experience, and it is quite incredible. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to you. Would you like for Omashar to play music underneath after you at the proper time?
Yes, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm
cue him when it's time.
Yeah, I'm going to start with a quantum prayer, and after we conclude that, then we can start to play the music. Still of mind and clear of heart, I enter now into the cosmic portal of holding, where the higher self of all people in this group container and all watching the recording waits. With open heart, complete trust and surrender, and in the name of the divine cosmic Christ, I ask now for the manifestation of the highest timeline reality, for all to become realized of mind, body, and soul, with gentle lessons and graceful process, and increase this holding as much as the cosmic law, physical body, and everyone's soul shall allow. While honoring the free will of all, I give my complete thanks and gratitude for all that has already occurred through your mighty presence and thine eternal light. I call upon the Cosmic Christ Supreme Intelligence to support this KES group holding session. I invite the Cosmic Christ energy to connect with us in the most appropriate way. May all that transpires in this microcosmic reflection on our group constellation support and uplift the ascension of the entire human collective and all sentient life. I also call forth the assistance of the Divine Heavenly Mother and Heavenly Father presence to overlight this group container with the unconditional love of the Most High. May all be known through this connection of pure love, so that this group holding container anchors in us in the most benevolent way. I am free, the soul is free, all is free, and so it is. Amen. begin to play the music now.
Omashar, you're muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Omashar. Keep on breathing deeply as we're still moving through some of the energies. Take a deep breath. Breathe in, anchoring back into your body, connecting with the cells. Breathing into your heart space, your sacred heart. Coming back fully now, present here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Charis. I wanted to ask you, I forgot to ask in advance, do you provide private sessions for people?
Yes, I do. If you want to contact me, you can reach out as well. I do in the time that I have, I do provide sessions. Yeah.
I know that you're very, very busy, but could you put into the chat box the email address or however you want people to contact you?
Yes, of course. I would do that now.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to read some of the beautiful comments that have come in. Dr. Laura wrote, Charis, thank you so much for getting up so early to provide us with this KES healing. That's right, everybody. Just so you know, it's 9 hours? It's like 5. She came in at 4 o'clock in the morning, Germany time. Dr. Laura continues by saying, I felt strong energies at my crown and throat chakras, my left elbow and my left ear. And she goes on with lots and lots of gratitude for you. Sharon says, beautiful blessings of light. Diara is thanking both Omashar and Charis. Dia writes, Charis, this meditation was powerful. And then she has some German words there for you. Tatiana is sending lots of love to everybody and appreciation. More and more comments coming in right now. So,
oh, thank you so much, beloveds. It was a deep honor, and I want to share that I witnessed some things were cleared in the root, and then in the left hemisphere of the brain, and then in the right. And as the right concluded, that was anchoring the last bit of the root out as well. So that's what I witnessed throughout the session. Yeah.
okay, thank you. I hope you'll come back and do another session for us sometime.
I'd love to. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you. We're getting every day, one day closer to you coming out to Ashland. Looking forward to seeing you in March.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so looking forward to that. Yeah. Yes.
Love you so much, Charis. Thank you so much.
I love you so much. And thank you all so much, and have a beautiful rest of your day.
Well, what a beautiful way for us to conclude our day, and what an amazing start for her day. Or maybe she'll go back and take a little nap. But, this has been quite a day, everybody. Thank you so much. I will look forward to seeing all of you on the Unity Earth Symposium tomorrow, especially that session that starts at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern, with Christian Hoffman and Omashar and several other wonderful luminaries. So I'll look forward to seeing all of you then. Take care, get a good night's rest. And remember, on Sacred Sunday, we can make any moment sacred by choosing to see the divine. So let's all practice seeing the divine in each other. I'm going to go to gallery view for those of you that are still with us. And amazing, we still have 37 people. Just about half of the people that were with us tonight stayed for this healing and stayed for the entire show, which is amazing. So it's good to see each and every one of you. God's blessings. Have a beautiful night's sleep, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Good night, everybody.